Hey guys, so today we're looking at a bit of news relating to the future of FCA and what we can expect for their engines. So that includes talking about a turbocharged inline 6, the 3.6-liter Pentastar V6, as well as the 7-liter V8 Hemi. I want to go over everything we know, from the first reports of a Pentastar upgrade back in 2014, and then about the turbo 6 and 7-liter Hemi reports back in 2018, all the way up until the most recent news we have now from just last week. I'll also give a short update on the 5.7 Hemi at the end of the video as well, so let's get into it. So roughly a year ago, last December of 2018, there were many reports first hinting at a new inline 6 engine that would replace the current 3.6-liter Pentastar V6. That Pentastar has been FCA's 6-cylinder offering for almost all of their products across the lineup, from the Chrysler 300 to the Dodge Durango. That engine first debuted in 2011 models, so by 2020 it'll already be 10 model years old and counting. Back in December of 2014, there were reports that FCA was going to update that Pentastar with turbocharging, direct fuel injection, and improved variable valve timing, which would have improved the power substantially as well as the fuel economy. The new engines, which would internally be called PUG or Pentastar Upgrade, were slated to appear on the Jeep Grand Cherokee first. However, those reports were quashed, and the basic Pentastar lived on to tell the tale. So back to the December 2018 reports. The inline 6 apparently had the internal codename GME T6, which stands for Global Medium Engine, or the Tornado, and it would have around 3 liters of displacement, and was being created to meet or beat the 5.7-liter Hemi power ratings, while also having a smoother torque curve. Ferrari currently do use a V6 block with 404 horsepower, however, FCA is in need of a much cheaper and lower cost 6-cylinder engine that can produce V8 power, so that's been their goal here with the inline 6. The 5.7-liter Hemi now makes between 360 to 395 horsepower and 390 to 410 pound-feet of torque, and that's found in a variety of vehicles like the 300, Charger, Durango, Challenger, Ram 1500, and Grand Cherokee. Reports were calling for the inline 6 to have a minimum of 370 horsepower thanks to the turbocharger, and rumors were saying it was going to replace the 5.7 Hemi at some point, or at least be offered in addition to it. As for more details that were released at the time, it seems that FCA was trying to make the straight 6 as small as possible to fit into tight spaces, so major design changes were in order, and every millimeter was going to count in trying to reduce its length and have small bores that were closely spaced. The goal was to stay within just 3 inches of FCA's current 2.4-liter 4-cylinder. The expected displacement was expected to be just under 3 liters, with the goal of being under the threshold for displacement taxes in international markets. And power was going to be boosted by twin-scroll turbochargers for the Chrysler versions, and dual turbochargers for those that go into the Alfa Romeos and Maseratis. However, the Maserati and Alfa Romeo versions would likely have Ferrari-designed heads and different blocks due to the superiority that those brands command. It was also unclear if the inline 6 would share architecture with the current FCA Global Medium Engine inline 4-cylinder, or if it would be a totally new design, but sharing parts and designs would definitely save FCA money. Those reports were calling for the new inline 6 to be introduced in late 2019 for vehicles such as the Jeep Wagoneer or the next generation Jeep Grand Cherokee, and that it would eventually find its way to the Dodge Charger, Challenger, and Ram pickups. As for the 7-liter Hemi V8, there were many reports in the summer of 2018 that this engine was in the works, with the code name Banshee. When Ram presented their 5-year presentation in 2018, they announced the Hellcat-powered Ram Rebel TRX, as well as a more affordable Ram Rebel TR, which would have that 7-liter 426 cubic inch Hemi V8. And that engine was also rumored to be eventually finding its way to the Charger and Challenger as well. This 7-liter V8 was a heavily modified version of the current 6.4-liter 392 cubic inch Hemi V8, and it was projected to have between 520 to 525 horsepower and 535 to 575 pound-feet of torque. So now we fast forward to November of 2019, and we have more information about the 3-liter GME T6 and the 7-liter V8 from FCA. Mopar insiders have discovered a patent application that FCA US LLC filed with the United States Patent and Trademark Office, first submitted back on November 1st of 2017. This patent was granted on April 2nd of 2019. There is visual evidence of the turbo inline 6, as FCA used an image of an inline 6 engine in their patent. This doesn't appear to be a coincidence either, since FCA also received 2 other engine-related patents on March 19th and April 2nd of 2019, and FCA used pictures of a V6 in those patents instead, so that differentiation has to be there for a reason. The patent itself was for a new EGR, or exhaust gas recirculation system, that is to be used with turbocharged gas engines. Now, it's believed that the GME T6 will go in multiple FCA vehicles across the world, and it will be based on the Hurricane 2-liter GME 4-cylinder as we discussed, with both being built on the same assembly line to save FCA money. Power is expected to be 360 horsepower on the low end, and up to 525 horsepower in a high-performance version with more than one turbo. And with power like that, this engine could easily replace the current 3.2 and 3.6 Pentastar V6s, as well as the 5.7-liter V8 Hemi. The engine will also feature FCA's upcoming e-booster technology on performance versions of the Tornado engine. We don't know too many details about e-booster yet, but it looks like it will provide 25% more power and eliminate the turbo lag on the larger turbochargers. Going full circle, that 7-liter V8 426 Hemi that we talked about is officially cancelled, and those rumors were just rumors. The vehicles that were supposed to get that engine, such as the Ram Rebel TR, will now likely be getting the GME T6 instead. So, this GME T6 is the replacement for the shelved 7-liter V8, and it also looks like it will be the future of 6-cylinder engines for FCA. FCA has commented on this matter, saying they, quote, prefer not to comment on speculation regarding future product, end quote. So not much help there. As to when we might see this engine, it still appears to be a few years away, and it could be in the next generation Jeep Grand Cherokee WL, and Mopar Insiders has actually spotted a 2021 prototype of the Grand Cherokee, and that's where it's projected that we will see this GME T6 engine. Another interesting point is the recent FCA-PSA merger, which could affect the development of this engine. It could also mean more development on the new motor, since it could find its way under the hood of some of the products under PSA as well, but only time will tell there. As for the 5.7-liter V8 Hemi update, the rumors claim that there will be an update for the engine soon, but it looks like FCA is treating it as a niche motor going forward, and not pushing it for the mass market, like the GME T6. So this could be the beginning of the end of the 5.7 as it slowly starts to get phased out by FCA, but I wouldn't think anything like that would happen until many years down the road. So that's the end of this video, guys. Thanks for watching. What do you make of all that information? Are you excited to see a turbo inline 6, or do you much prefer the Hemis instead? Let me know down in the comments section below. Make sure to like and subscribe for all your Mopar content, and I'll see you in the next video.